guys, it's Fee. I'm here for a Preggie update, and I know I am a little overdue on this one. I intended on doing it last week, but life just was life. So I am here to do my 29, 30, and 31 week update. I am currently 31 weeks and 5 days. I turned 32 weeks on Wednesday, so I'm doing that part of this a little bit early. But this week is about to get crazy, so I want to get this done and out here. So I'm going to be 32 weeks on Wednesday. Can I just stop and say that, oh my God, that covers it. Lately I am just so blown away by where I'm at. There's no other way to say that. I remember when I started watching people from the shadows on YouTube before I created my own channel, and I remember watching a handful of people. I know exactly who they were. I remember who they were, and they'd get to like 30-something weeks, and I'd be like, oh my God, their baby's going to be here soon. And then I'd think, wow, is that ever going to be me? And here I am. And it's pretty emotional to have that number in my vlog. It's pretty emotional. We are in the single-digit weekly countdown. That started at 31 weeks. We were down to 9 weeks left. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And I had to put that out there because I'm just blown away, completely blown away. It still is very, very surreal. I know until a little boy is placed on my chest, I probably am going to still be saying that it's unbelievable, and it's hard to believe because it is. It is. All right, so enough of that. I wanted to put that out there. I've got a couple of notes in here. I had my 30-week appointment on August 11th. Currently, right now, I am having appointments every 2 weeks. Once I hit 34, it will be every week. I have another appointment tomorrow, actually, so I will save that appointment for next week's vlog. I'm going to try and get on here next week for 32 weeks. So August 11th was my 30-week appointment, and I went in there. First of all, I went in there incredibly uncomfortable, and I could not figure out why. I figured little boy was just riding low, perhaps. I didn't know. And they had me lay back on the table. The table, of course, is at an incline. But, to do the measurements, to do the Doppler and whatnot, and I'm laying back and I'm like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. And the doctor, which was not my main doctor, he was one of the other in the practice. There's 4 of them in my practice. And he actually was, without ultrasound, was able to just kind of feel around and tell what position little boy was in. And, I'm told, and my doula told me this too, that not too many doctors can do that. I don't know how true that is, but I was really surprised because of being told that he was able to do this. And he said, yeah, well, the reason why you're uncomfortable is your little boy's butt is straight down into your cervix. So, pretty much frank breech, butt down, head up this way, feet up this way, butt down. And that's why it was so uncomfortable. And at that point, I was like, oh boy, I hope he's going to turn. I hope he's going to turn. I wasn't too worried yet. I know that I still actually have a little bit of time for him to turn and stay turned. I believe it's right around 32 weeks where the head is technically getting heavier than the butt, so then hopefully gravity just kind of does it for you. So we'll see. I'm not too worried, but I did do acupuncture because of the whole potential breech thing. I'll get to that in a minute. That was really interesting. But back to the doctor appointment. I'm kind of all over the place today. Sorry. It went really well. This was actually one of the doctors. There's one doctor in the practice that I haven't seen yet, who I will see tomorrow. And then there's another doctor in the practice that I just wasn't quite so sure if I liked him or not. And that was the guy I saw at 30 weeks that was able to feel and say, okay, here's the position your baby's in. So that made me feel a little bit better about him. And then I also had a whole bunch of questions to throw at him that I actually want to start throwing at all 4 of them just to see if all of them are on the same page. Just, in my opinion, basic things, what they're willing to do, what they're not willing to do. Delayed cord clamping, skin to skin, that kind of stuff. I also wanted to know if any of them are okay with me potentially not giving birth on my back. I'm probably going to do a vlog on my birth hopes. We'll call it hopes. And actually, he was fine with everything. He had actually mentioned that they just had someone give birth a couple days ago on the hands and knees, and it didn't faze him at all. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but again, that's one of those things where I was told numerous times by numerous people, including my doula, that there's a lot of doctors that just don't do that. They're not trained to do that. They're trained for you to give birth on your back, and that's pretty much that. So I was pleasantly surprised about all of his answers. Other than that, I was measuring right on time, and he found the heartbeat right away. All the tests that I had done previous to the appointment had all come back good. And one other thing about the 30-week appointment that I have no explanation for, other than the fact that I have tried to up my protein, and I am full-fledged right in the middle of Hypno-Babies training. Those are the only 2 things that have changed. And you guys know that one of the reasons why they sent me for preeclampsia screening was because my blood pressure was 140/80 a number of weeks ago. And I had swelling, and they just wanted to be doubly sure. The swelling has not gone away, but the blood pressure went down. It went down to 124 over, I want to say 73. It seems like kind of a big drop to me, and I have no explanation other than just trying to stay calm. Just trying to stay calm and relaxed. So, good news there. The swelling is still going on, but it's not horrible. I don't believe it's gotten any worse. I guess they'll tell me if they see anything scary or not tomorrow. But I don't think it's gotten any worse. There are days where it's better. There are days where it's worse than the day before. Sometimes I have to put my feet up. Sometimes I don't. It seems kind of normal to me. But the swelling is still in the legs. So we'll see how this goes. The other thing that happened during week 30 was I did my hospital tour, actually on August 12th, the day after that doctor appointment. And I got to tell you, I've got really, really good feelings about this hospital. I did a bunch of research as to where I wanted to go. I read a lot of reviews. I asked some people some questions, and I'm thinking it's paid off because this hospital tour was pretty amazing. We got a nurse who does the night shift. She's done it for 20 years, and she gave us our tour, and she was pretty amazing. She really was. And everything that they had mentioned was actually on my list of questions to ask. And before I even had a chance to ask, she went through everything and answered all the questions I had. This hospital is pretty, I'm going to say, hip to the newer things that people are wanting, and they consider them to be regular protocol. They do delayed cord clamping automatically. They do skin to skin automatically. Some of the other kind of littler things that I found happily amusing, is that before I even had a chance to ask this, and this is just this was a trivial thing, not a big deal. I would have been able to tolerate either which way. But before I even had a chance to ask, she said that you don't have to be in a hospital gown. You can be in whatever you want. And they even sell Pretty Pushers hospital gowns. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that before, but it's a prettier hospital gown. It's not, it fits properly, let's put it that way, with all the access points in the right areas, but it still makes you feel like you're actually wearing clothing. They actually sell these in their hospital store. So I heard that and I was ecstatic because I had thought about getting one of these for a long time. I've known about them for a couple of years now, But I didn't buy one because I knew that a lot of people were like, hey, I got one in my hospital, didn't want me to do it. Make sure you ask first. So I was like elated. I went out the next day and I went and I ordered it, and I currently have it. It's in my stack of stuff to put in the hospital bag, so that made me happy. Some of the other things we found out about the hospital that I kind of knew but didn't know all the details of is I knew that some of the rooms had tubs. And I knew that the hospital allowed for laboring in the water, and not all hospitals are okay with that. The part I didn't know is only 5 of the rooms have tubs, like 5 out of 30. So there is one particular doctor that I am not with who is responsible for getting these tubs into this particular hospital when they did their last remodel, which was not that long ago. And he gets dibs on these tubs. So if you want one of these rooms, you have to attempt to reserve it. Your doctor has to call in and say, okay, she should be going into labor soon. Keep in mind she wants one of these rooms. So I'm going to have to see if that is going to work out or not with my doctors. I'm sure they'll be willing to try and attempt to do the reservation, but we'll see. Like I said, this other doctor, his patients get dibs on the tub rooms. So I asked the nurse, and she seems to think that in October, which is what I'm due, that I should have a pretty good chance of getting one of these rooms. For whatever reason, they have found that they are like crazy busy now, and when they hit like October and November, it seems to slow down a little bit. They can't really explain that one. I would think it would be the other way around, because if you kind of do the math, October means kind of January, February, around Valentine's Day is when you conceived. But you know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. So we'll see what happens with that. But the other thing that I completely blew me away is they allow water births. And that's pretty rare with a hospital. Most hospitals will let you labor in the water, and if it happens on accident, okay, but they won't plan for a water birth. You need to be doing that as a home birth or with midwives or in a birthing center, but not normally at a hospital. This hospital allows for water births. So I'm going to have more questions to ask my doctors, because I don't know if any one of the 4 of them do water births. I didn't even think about that because I didn't even think it was an option at a hospital birth. I've always really been interested in the possibility of doing one. I just didn't think the option was there for me. So I'm going to start asking some questions and find out. I think it would be amazing if that opportunity opened up for me. So we'll see. Okay, so last thing for week 30 is I mentioned that I did acupuncture. Now, I do acupuncture and chiropractics every week. I've done it every week since before my embryo transfer. I just really believe in it. You guys have heard me say that before. And when the doctor told me that baby was butt down, I went into my acupuncture session and I went, I got a job for you. Because they can do acupuncture to try and turn a breech baby. Now, I didn't do this because I was necessarily worried. I know he still has time to turn on his own, but I was just so uncomfortable. And I said, let's do one session with the acupuncture to attempt to turn a baby. And, you guys know that have been watching me for a while, that needles don't bother me anymore. I inject my forehead, inject my eyeballs, whatever. It doesn't bother me anymore. So the acupuncture needles, that's like nothing. Well, my acupuncturist warned me. He said, you're probably not going to like the way these needles feel where they have to go. And I got to tell you, I totally underestimated it. They have to go on the sides of your 5th toe. Now that's your pinky toe, on the sides of your pinky toe, one on each side. And I'm thinking, okay, it's the toe. It's not that big of a deal. Well, wow. That is definitely a very sensitive area, let me tell you. So I will be more prepared next time if we do this again. I do believe it worked, though. I really do. Not immediately. It was almost like sometime that night or the next morning, I felt like a lot of turning movement. and there was relief. But I will tell you that I think he has gone back into that position a couple of times and then turned out of it on his own. So we'll see. Hopefully little boy will get the message as to which way he needs to be facing soon. All right, so that was everything in week like 29 and 30. The other reason that I wasn't on here last week, even though I wanted to try and get on here last week to do that, is I was sick. Let me tell you, these sinuses of mine, not a good thing. Now, I know they say when you're pregnant, all of the extra liquids and the ooey and gooiness is just part of it. I was prepared for that. I was. I've had sinus problems pretty much all of my life. You guys can probably still hear it a little bit. My voice isn't quite right. But last Sunday, I woke up with a headache. And it was one of those headaches where if you sneezed or you coughed or you had to bend down, it felt like your brain was smacking on the inside of your skull. It was not fun. That lasted for 3 days. Did not go away, not even for 1 second. And that just kind of turned into just all kinds of ooey gooey yuckiness up and through here. And I was just doing everything I could to not have to go to the doctor and ask for medicine. Now, there are certain things that they claim are safe. Certain antibiotics, certain things they can give you. But you know what? I've been down this road numerous times with my sinuses, and I know that the only thing that works for me is steroids. And I just didn't want to do that right now. Obviously, I really didn't want to do that right now. Even though they do claim that the one particular one that works for me, they claim that it is safe. I just wasn't okay with it. So let me tell you, the exhaustion from the third trimester has absolutely definitely hit, and then on top of that I was sick, and on top of that I really didn't have an option to call into work that week for circumstances that were beyond my control. So it was rough. It was rough. I got to Friday and I came home and I felt like I had ran a marathon every single day. But let me tell you, I also felt very accomplished that I was able to get through the week and my 40 hours of work that week and survive because it was rough. I only started feeling better over the last couple of days over this weekend. But I will say that I started to get a cough because whenever I get sick, I have bronchitis that kicks in. So I've been sleeping with a humidifier literally about a foot away from my face. That seems to be helping. The cough is going away. It wasn't able to settle into my lungs, thank God. Because the other thing that has changed is I can definitely feel my lungs getting pushed on. It does not take much for me to get out of breath at all now. I can walk across my house and completely be out of breath. Going up and down the stairs is a joke. It really is. So I knew that it would not be a good thing if the bronchitis that I tend to get when I get sick would have settled into my lungs at the same time. So humidifier to the rescue. Humidifier with Vicks, actually. And that seems to be helping. It seems to be keeping it at bay. I still got a little bit left, little remnants, a little bit of a cough here and there. So Mr. Humidifier and I are going to be friends for a while, but that's all right. The other thing that has changed is I just recently, 2 days ago, started trying something new for the acid reflux. You guys know that the acid reflux has been crazy. That has not changed. It hasn't. And the one thing I was told to try by someone in my Hypnobabies class is Papaya enzymes. So I got this from Whole Foods. And they've got a couple of different ones. This particular one is supposedly chewable. It says chewable right there. But when you read the back, it tells you to dissolve it in your mouth. So it's kind of like the B vitamins that you're supposed to, the B12s I think it is, that you're supposed to put underneath your tongue and then let it dissolve for a while and then you chew it up. That's what you do with these. You can either take 3 of these following a meal, 1 to 3 times a day, or you can just do it as needed. I do it as needed. They're not miracle drugs, but I can tell you that it seems to keep the acid away, the hurt of the acid. I still feel belchy and burpy, and I still feel kind of like things want to come up a little bit after I eat. Probably a little bit of TMI there, but the painful part with the reflux, the acid that just gets into your throat and just hurts like hell, this seems to work. So if you have acid reflux and you want to try something more natural, give this stuff a go. They did have me on Pepcid. I was taking Pepcid AC. They said I could take it up to the max amount, which is twice a day. I was only taking it once a day at night. I have stopped and I'm trying this instead because I'm all for a natural solution. So there's that. And that's about it. The other things that have really changed during 29, 30, and 31 are really nothing new. It's all the same. The wrists are still they're kind of nasty, I gotta admit it. I will say though, when I have upped the protein in my diet, I mentioned that earlier, and it seems to keep the wrist pain away, but the fingers are constantly numb in both hands all the time, without fail, does not stop for even a second. But the wrist pain does seem to be a little bit better when I get more protein into my diet. Not quite sure what the correlation there is. I know it has something to do with swelling and how protein can help with that, because there is swelling in my wrists. That's what causes the finger numbness. So other than that, I am full steam ahead with my Hypno Babies classes. I have had 4 of them now, and I am totally loving them. As I said, I'm probably not going to get into that too much right now because I'm going to do a video about my birth plan and my birth hopes. We'll say my birth hopes and the decisions I have made towards that, which include Hypno Babies. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I will try and get that up very soon. That's it. So that was everything for 29, 30, and 31, even though I am 31 weeks and 5 days right now. But I will get back to you guys sometime probably late next week for a week 32 update, because the rest of this week is insane. We have a child CPR class to go to tomorrow night. I also have my 32-week appointment in the morning. Then I have my acupuncture and my chiropractics on Wednesday, and my baby shower is this Saturday. My baby shower for my friends and family is this Saturday, so tons of fun there. Which reminds me, right before I did this video, went on Facebook and I was a big ooey gooey sobbing mess. I'm not even joking. I was nominated by the online baby shower group to have an online baby shower. Thank you, Lisa, for nominating me. And I will get that list up, my registry and the date that I go with. I will get that up tonight after I'm done editing this video and getting this up. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for nominating me. Thank you for any of you that even remotely think about sending me something. That just blows me away. I'm happy with the prayers and the thoughts and the support. That is enough for me. But if you are interested in that is a closed Facebook group for online baby showers. If you want to be a part of that, you need to message Lisa Marie TTC, and she can get you in on that. All right, so I am going to let you guys go. This is 25 minutes long. Normal for me, right? I know. I will talk to you guys soon. Definitely sometime next week for the 32-week update. Thanks. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, so I almost forgot to do a bump shot. I know you guys want that. So here's the bump. 31 weeks and 5 days from the side, from the front. Belly button has not popped out yet. And from the other side. And let me tell you, this little boy is growing like crazy because, wow, I can really feel the weight now. He is putting on some weight and some muscle. He is growing good. All right, that's it, guys. Talk to you guys later. Bye.